Hello all, no respawns, hope you're doing well. So we're back in Far Harbour, fog free because I have that clear weather mod. Ugh, loving it. Anyway, so we're back in Far Harbour and I'm going to show you how to repair the main body of the building. It's not really a house, is it? It's kind of a department store or like a gift shop. It's a gift shop, I think. Whatever, it's the main building. I'm going to call it Far Harbour Echo Lake main building or something. I don't know. Echo Lake number build main building. You already know the title. Anyway, I'll show you how I board it up. Now, I've already done the roof. I'll put a link in the description, or if you're patient, you can wait for the outro and it'll have a link back to the previous video where I basically do the upstairs. I decided to split them up, basically, because they just took a little bit of it's quite a lot of work. And I wanted to at least show you decently how to do each part. Now, my style for this, just to remind everyone, is I deliberately don't try and make it look like the house was how it was originally. So it's really crisp. I try and make it look scrappy. The reason being is it's realistic, unless you have PC and, you know, unless you have kind of quite high level mods, unrestricted mods rather, on PC and quite a lot of control, you can't really make a decent looking, very, very clean build. But also, to be honest as well, I probably just have a bias in the fact that I like scrappy, junky things as well. So what I'm doing is I'm deliberately leaving some gaps, so like here, for example, because repairing that with that big pile of concrete there, the fact the whole floor above it is removed, it would just be a little bit, the roof as well, it would be a little bit awkward to do, also with the fact that I've got my supports for my lovely rickety bridge poking through the bottom, so I just kind of left it like that. But the inside, I'm quite pleased with. Now, once it's finished, when you'll see the tour at the end, it's quite surprisingly crisp looking. But it's still suitably scrappy, which I'm quite pleased with. Also, just to preface, I actually don't show you physically everything, because there's huge amounts of repetition. So I show you basically doing the most part of this corner and the upper floor and doing the roof. But then there are like some few gaps, which I just thought it's just me, you know, using this pillar and, you know, moving moving walls, and it would just, you know, and it was an extra about 30 minutes on, so I just thought, right, I won't show that because it's not very interesting. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with this. There's also no decoration as well, because I don't even know what to do. It's such a massive building, so it's undecorated as well, but when I actually get around to doing the full decorated tour of the whole place, when I've done built the entire settlement, then you'll see an inside decoration, but I just don't know what to use it for. There's also, you see that, see all the texture glitches. It's a nightmare. Don't worry, it's only when, those of you who maybe have noticed that but don't know what causes it, it's due to some of the objects added with the mods. When you select them, it causes the textures to spaz out a little bit. Also, you see that little, just behind that board there, there's that flashing bit. Yeah, you see it? You might have seen it. There's a little bit of flashing wall. It's because when I deleted, because I have the scrap everything mod, I deleted loads of everything basically, and in one instance just there, it clearly had a little bit of an issue. It was the mod dev, the game creators rather, had deliberately, you see with that wall there, had put the item there to cover up a glitching piece of crappy wall. But don't worry, I just unceremoniously slam a board into it when I'm doing my decoration, but, well, when I'm doing my final bits, but I'll actually cover it with a bookshelf or something later down the line. Now, when I'm doing this, right, because you'll see me do lots of pillar glitching and also two kind of glitches. So I'm using the select all glitch, and I'm also using the glitch where I put something on one of the glitching tool rugs that have been included in the USO mod, and I move them in via that, as I'm going to do in a second now. Now, I thought I'd remind everyone, I incidentally, I believe, did this in the last building that I repaired quite extensively, because obviously I was doing lots of glitching, was that I don't want to use the PlayStation version of the Place Anywhere mod, or Place in Red mod, or Swap, or whatever the hell it's called. Now, there's two reasons for this. Three reasons. Two very practical reasons, and one very petty reason. So I'll do the practical reasons first. The most important one is that having all these limitations makes me creative. You'll see how I do the ceiling and the roof. I'm quite chuffed with how I've done that. And how I address loads of things causes me to think outside the box. A lot of the most interesting things I've made have been due to the limitations that I have in the game. I find when people have like more control over what they're doing, they tend to kind of do quite boring structures. In my experience, just seeing people, I used, you know, Place Anywhere to do this, and it's really noticeable because their structures are quite dull looking. No offense. But also the other reason is, and the other practical reason is I quite enjoy glitching stuff. It's fun to kind of beat the system. Especially, I was so pleased when I did that. You'll see the roof in a second, because I was struggling with how do I patch up the roof part here without making it look shit, but also making it look good from the inside and reasonable from the outside. It looks very good. And the final reason, as I've mentioned before, is I'm just so damn sick of people asking me. It's a little reason. The main ones are the first two, because it's just, I just don't need to use it. But also because every single comment is just, you should use the Place Anywhere mod. No, I shouldn't. It doesn't really change anything. Seriously, honestly, you might say it makes your life easier, but you lose the creativity, I think, of, being forced to, necessity is the mother of all creation. But also, it just doesn't really change anything. It really doesn't. Though I look forward to still getting it on every other video for the rest of my life. Or until I, eventually stop doing Fallout videos. And even then, I'll still get it. Anyway, that's my little rant. I'll have to do another one of these in about a month when people forget that I've just said that I don't want to use it. It's not that I don't mind you, but I do mind you commenting it all the time. It's usually done in quite a kind of innocent way as well. It's like, Davey, don't know if you know, but there's a Place Anywhere mod. I'm like, really? What? I've never heard of this. But I do appreciate the, sentiment. Just fucking hell. Seriously, you ever bored? Just Control F, like, Swapper or Place Anywhere on one of my videos when it's been out for like a few days. Every other comment. Anywho, that probably took several more minutes than I was intending. Do you like this out bit? So basically, I was going to do this video a day earlier. And you see how I've done the boards on the inside, right? And then I'm putting these reinforced, kind of like supports. That's the idea. They're meant to look like it's kind of stopping the building from collapsing. I kind of spent about several hours trying to figure out how I wanted to board this up. And I experimented taking things apart, and eventually landed on these and doing this, and then I tried to board up the inside. Now basically, because of the fact, just the order I did everything, it was really hard to board up the inside with these already there. So I rage quit and decided to leave it there. I had to basically reload and change everything. So yeah, that's my little adventure. It was actually when I was doing this part, but like a day ago, that I just said, fuck off, this is annoying. I have to redo everything, but it looks cool, so it's alright. Realistically, I probably should have done the top floor, but before I did this, as you can see, because I'm using the pillar with the rug glitch, so these items don't snap to anything, so I can put them on the glitching tools, basically provided, and they completely ignore all collision other than the rug. However, obviously there's the select all version, which is the one I'm going to do in a sec. Nope. I'll do afterwards. Where I, how I did the bottom floor, where I just kind of, use the pillar to kind of put it close to the item and select all. Now, the slight problem you have is that you can only do it with certain items. Basically, it's just weird and confusing, and that's why order is very important. But if you had Swapper and Place Anywhere, it wouldn't be a problem. Yeah, well, fuck you. It's annoying, and I like having I like these problems, even though I get angry. I'm one of those people, right? I thrive under getting angry and rage quitting and then trying again and defeating it. I like solving problems, basically. Sorry. It's just this video is going to get loads of comments about you should do it this way. But I like the way this looks. It looks really crisp. And then with how I've done the upstairs, I love the floors. It looks very cool. You'll like the tour. There's actually one error, but that's just due to the fact that I've glitched something too far a wall. So I'm going to spoil it now, right? Because you're just watching what I'm doing. So when you see the tour, the back, one of those, I think it's not this board actually, but it's one of the boards I've already done, or it might be one I do later on that I don't record. I've put too far the wall, and you can see it on the outside. It looks ugly. So basically, when you do all of this, make sure you don't push when you're doing this, right, don't push everything too far in to the exterior wall. You want it to look like it's boarded up. You want it kind of inside the wall. If it's too far outside, so for example, if I push this too far until it's like hanging outside, you'll then walk along the outside of the building and you'll just see square block walls, as opposed to what you want them to do is be buried inside, so they look like, actual repair work. Just a bit of a note. I'll point it out, yeah. I'll point out my errors so you can see what I'm doing. See, realistically, I should have done this earlier, before I did that, but it doesn't really affect it that much. But you can see it's like, it wouldn't have gone red had I not done this. Oh well, it's fine. It works, it's fine, it's okay. I get them in snugly. See, it looks really messy right now. Trust me, it looks really, really good. Especially this floor. These invisible large rugs are absolute gems as well for doing shit like that. So, basically, when you put... I mentioned this last video, I'm going to remind you again. When you put the plywoards on, you often can't place stuff on top of them. It kind of sinks. And what these rugs do is you put them over gaps like that. And it enables you to put stuff on top, but you still can't see it. So it's just really useful. It's a good way of leveling out. Now, this is really clever, see? Now, these are the barn roofs, or you can use... I'm using the warehouse ones, but you can use the barn ones if you want, if you just like the colour. Now, they're the wrong angle to match any other Bethesda-made, like, kind of prefab. So like this building, basically. Like, they're just slightly the wrong angle, so you can't actually glitch them in perfectly, right? And I tried to kind of put them inside the roof, and it never really worked. And eventually, I came with my genius idea of... Basically, it looks perfect on the inside, and just looks a little bit odd on the outside, but only if you're physically standing on the roof and looking in. And even then, it doesn't actually look bad. It just looks like it's been patched up a little bit. You'll see what I mean. I'm quite chuffed with this. This is why what I'm doing right here is I'm obsessing over getting the height. Initially, what I did is I got the barn doors and just kind of snapped one on the bottom and then just grabbed it and select-tooled it in using the height of the wall, like the barn wall, but obviously they're like significantly higher than these kind of normal shack walls. So what we're doing here is super clever. I like this. Super clever. Oh yeah. Is we're going to make it look from the inside like the roof. Basically, these are 4 of them, and I can just get it in here like this, line it up perfect. And as you can see from the inside, because of that beam, so that beam, and the beam is connecting to the kind of the upper beam that you just can't see, the actual length of these roofs are perfect to fit in that gap. Look at that. Look at it. Oh, suits you. Oh, do I show you the outside so you can see what I mean? Also, this is the end of the building as well, because everything now is to select all, but I'll show you from the outside. But you can see. So you can see it a little bit. It looks like a little bit weird there. But in the tour, as you can see right now. So I've basically... I'll point out my mistakes as well. So it looks very, very crisp, doesn't it? Quite a few... I kind of like tried to make the outside supports look like set pieces, but still look quite... That wall. See that wall there? That one I'm looking at right there? Ugh, ugly, needs to be fixed, but it's too far out, that's all. But look at that. See, it makes sense. It's kind of refurbished. And that rule there is just to cover up that flashing piece of scenery. See, it looks really cozy now, doesn't it? Like an actual kind of like reinforced bunkery. Anyway, hope you guys like that. As always, follow me on Twitter at norespawns. Oh, look at that. Oh, beautiful. As always, follow me at norespawns on Twitter. I'll have a new video up soon. And you guys enjoy the rest of your week. And have fun trying to replicate this, because it's easy, but it does take a while. Anyway, take care.